Hi guys, and welcome back to AKA Mama. If you're new to my channel, my name is Tafara, and in this space I talk about motherhood, my personal experience raising a child abroad, and how I'm navigating that space. So I'm not an expert or a pro, I'm just a passionate mom that loves talking about these topics, loves sharing it. And today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things that I wish I knew before I became a mother. And I will put a disclaimer. Those are the top 5 things for me today. A year from now, my list may look different as life is always evolving and our perspectives may change. But I really thought not so hard, not long about it, because for me, these are like the 5 that immediately came to my mind. Before I get into that though, I'm just going to highlight why the last 2 weeks I didn't upload a video. I had an operation done and I was unexpectedly out of order because I had my tonsils taken out. So yes, I'm still in recovery. I'd say I'm 90% there, maybe 95. So I'm happy to be able to speak again, happy to be able to do this and, talk about what I'm passionate about and looking forward to life getting back to normal. So the first, I'm going to highlight 5 points, but the one that's like the most important for me, I'll save it for the end. But I just want to tie one of the things that came up, in over the last 2, almost 3 weeks, and that's the 5th one. I would have never imagined that it would be so difficult to not be able to carry your 3.5-year-old for a prolonged period of time. So like I mentioned, I got my tonsils taken out, so I'm not allowed to lift anything heavy or do anything strenuous. No hot food, no hot showers, all these restrictions, which kind of suck, but I realized in how many different situations I just, pick my son up and I'm not allowed to do that. That's very difficult. Luckily, he's very understanding. I explained to him why I can't pick him up. There's a day I almost picked him up and he was like, "Mommy, is your throat fine? Do you no longer have hour?" I was like, "No, I still have hour." He's like, "You're not allowed to pick me up." And then, he got up by himself. But it's so many situations, like getting into the car. Of course, he can step into the car by himself. He's doing it now. But usually you just, prop them up. Those small little things. Or if you're going to the playground and they get stuck on a ladder, for example, that's like a normal scenario where you're going to help your child or pick them up. If he's trying to reach for something he can't reach, you just like prop them up a little. So it's very, very small things you don't consciously have on your mind that you do on a daily basis. That's been a bit difficult, but when I'm 100%, we'll revise. I feel like if somebody had asked me back in the day, my imagination would have been that you're no longer picking a 3.5-year-old, but really it's regular day-to-day things. So the 4th thing I'm going to highlight, which I did not know before having a child, there's some things you hear about them, right? But you yourself, you can't relate to it. The pregnancy sleep. Oh my goodness. I'm usually somebody that can't fall asleep fast. It takes me a while to fall asleep. But when I was pregnant, all I needed to do was to just lie down, shut my eyes, and I was out. That is the best sleep I've ever had in my life. It's so amazing. It's such a pity it's not possible to put it in a little box. And when you feel tired, you just you take it a little, you take it in and then you absorb the rest that you banked during your pregnancy. Because people say, yeah, sleep as much as you can while you're pregnant, which is super annoying because you actually can't control it. But man, that sleep was so good. It was so good. It's almost, it's over 4 years ago since I was pregnant, and I still miss that sleep. That's how good it was. So good. Like when I'm interacting with family and friends that are pregnant and they talk about their exhaustion and the sleeping, I'm like, oh my gosh, amazing. All right, so this is a bit random. When my son was a little baby, I had a few occasions where I needed to go to the doctors for different reasons. Nothing major, but I noticed after 2-3 doctor's visits, the doctors were somewhat dismissive. if I addressed an ailment or an issue I was encountering without them even asking further questions, without looking into it, they would just automatically say, it's because of the baby. It's because of the baby. It's because of the baby. And it's like, no, 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 no. I was convinced it was not because of the baby, but it's like one of those, if you go to the doctor's practice with your baby, you may not fully get the attention, that you need. So at some point I actually stopped going with the baby, and they would fully address whatever issue I was there, to address. So I'm not sure if this is just a coincidence that the doctors that I went to, all in different areas, happen to, respond that way, or whether, it's something common. And if it is common, I don't know if it's common in Germany or if it's a global thing. I don't know, but I would advise, if you have any issue you want to address, medical issue, make an arrangement with your partner, with your mom, sisters, whoever can help you, somebody that you trust, to look after your baby whilst you go to the doctor, and you get that undivided attention and you get whatever issue you have addressed. I'm going to switch on to the second one, which somewhat also ties with the third one that I just mentioned. I wasn't aware that sleep deprivation and hormonal changes can actually temporarily affect your eyesight. So at some point I felt like I was convinced there was something wrong with my eyes. My vision was not at 100%, and I kept postponing it. I was dreading going to get my eyes checked out. Finally made an appointment, and yes, I didn't go with the baby. And I got my eyes checked out. I got all the tests under the sun done. And I was told that my eyes were perfect. And I said, my eyes are not perfect. I can't see properly. Like, my vision is not what it used to be. And I don't know what, I don't know what it could be. And then she said to me, she asked me a few questions. And at that point, yes, I was still breastfeeding. And she was like, oh, okay. Then she asked about my sleep pattern and whatnot. She's like, your eyes are so good. I did every test that we can possibly do. But I suspect this is because of your sleep deprivation and your hormonal changes, whilst you're breastfeeding. I would love to suggest you do something else, but really, your eyes are good. So she said to me, when you stop breastfeeding and when your sleeping schedule goes back to normal, if your eyesight is still not 100%, come back here and we carry out further tests. Guys, I have my eyesight back. Like, it literally happened the way that she said, and I was so shocked. It's as if I was seeing things a little bit blurry. And I don't know how best to describe it. So I didn't know that before I had a child, that pregnancy or breastfeeding could have such an impact, on the eyesight. I Googled it afterwards. There's many tangible explanations about it. If you're interested in it, you can look it up. Or if you know somebody that just had a baby or somebody that's breastfeeding who's complaining about their eyes, they may just be in a similar situation. And then the last one, I thought, so the top one for me, I would say the absolutely hardest part of parenting so far for me has been, when the child falls sick. Now he's a bit, he's older, he can speak. So that's a game changer. But the very, very, very first time my son fell sick, because he was generally a very healthy baby. He was so healthy. When other kids were falling sick, he was fine. But I remember the first time he fell sick, I was so, it was so heartbreaking. I just wanted to take this pain away from him. He was so helpless, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to help him. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't live with this feeling. My little baby is so sick, he's struggling, and I can't help him. That's been the absolute worst part of parenting. It happened a couple of times. And I remember this one time I woke up, I just looked at him. He was still sleeping, and I knew things were not okay. He was just not fine. My heart immediately sank, and I just watched him. I watched him and I watched him till he woke up. And when he woke up, things got worse because he just woke up and he was crying. He was crying. He was struggling to open his eyes. I could tell that he wasn't, there was so much going on and I couldn't decode what was going on, but I could tell my child was struggling. And of course, he was still a baby. He couldn't speak. So you don't know. Is it the big toe? Is it the tummy? Is it a headache? It could literally be anything. And I feel like people handle situations differently. That's one that I super struggle with. I found it so hard to the extent that I was like, this may be, I'm not saying it is, this may be potentially, reason enough for me not to have another child, because I cannot stand the heartbreak and the helplessness of, watching them feeling so sick. And I spoke with my mom. I said, how the heck did you do it 4 times? How did you do this 4 times? Because guaranteed every child at some point is going to fall sick. And in most cases, and ideally, they're going to overcome it, right? But the journey, oh my gosh. And my mom said to me, well, it's not that the child is always sick. Yes, they fall sick, they overcome it, but the rewarding, the amazing aspect of it is greater than, what you feel when they're feeling sick, which is like an outlier, so to say. I don't know. So yeah, that's my list. I hope you found that interesting. And if you're watching this and you're pregnant, well, you may know what's potentially coming your way, but I think everybody's list looks very, very, very different. For some people, they'll be like, oh yeah, I can relate to that. Some people will be like, really? Okay, I find other things worse. For those of you that already have children, I'd be interested in finding out like what your list looks like. Drop, your experience in the comment section. I'm back. I look forward to engaging with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, click the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you next week.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.